You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the AOLL Cup Series here at Atlanta on the Ghostfire Media Network. I'm Carl Henderson. I'll be covering the race, and I'm here with Larry Patrick. Larry, how you doing, man?
Carl, I'm doing fantastic, Carl. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, Carl.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that like I normally am. But we're going to get started here, and I'm really excited about the race tonight because I was talking to the drivers beforehand, and the weather's kind of overcast right now. So even though it's gonna be a night race, it's leading into it, track might be a little bit cooler than normal. They're saying they kind of go a little bit wide open. Kind of the things I'm watching for tonight. Will fuel or tires be an issue? Which would be the issue first? And as I mentioned, the weather. It's gonna be a night race. How wide open are these guys going to be? And when a tire is going to start being a factor? What do you think, Larry?
Like you said, an overcast night. It's going to keep the racetrack a little bit cooler, so you shouldn't see these tires go away as fast. That's why these guys were able to say, like, "Hey, I'm almost able to keep it wide open." They're getting a lot of traction out there. The rubber's not wearing off these cars as fast. But with that being said, with them being able to hold it almost wide open, as I'm watching Ross Gage, and he just drifted around the first corner and tagged the outside wall. You're definitely gonna, you're gonna wear down them tires pretty quick because you are pushing them as hard as you will because of the grip that you are feeling.
Oh, I just switched to Timothy St. Jean there, and he starts spinning. Look here at Joe Dinsmore, and I think it's going to be we experienced this in the TNT race on Thursday at Atlanta, where it can be tempting to push your car a lot harder than you should, and then you end up wearing out those right fronts. Because just because the car can do something doesn't mean you should be doing it.
Well, that's an absolute, true statement. You're gonna, like I said, you're gonna see these guys. They're gonna have a overconfidence of this car, especially as the run goes. It will start to wear down as these guys put these corners. But it'll be interesting to see if he sits back. Lets the car tire wear decent, and they don't overdrive these cars.
Yeah, from the TNT race, you saw a lot of guys who were patient, but I mean, patience can also hurt you because you end up trying to hold back for too long, and then you end up with a bunch of cautions, and all that patience meant nothing. So, currently we got at the top of the board, we got Greg Wellen. William Klingbeil has finished his time laps, but he's still out there running some. I do that a lot as well. It's kind of free practice.
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and get it in while you can. And take the time, get you those few extra laps in, and get comfortable with these cars before you head into these races.
Yeah, a lot of times after qualifying, I'll even turn to this pit practice. I'll, do another lap, come in pit, and then if I have enough time, go out, go around again, and pit again, just to make sure that pit entry and everything's good. Should have probably done that last week. Might have messed up pit entry so badly. Although I guess you weren't there for that race, so you missed all of that.
Yeah, got a lot going on. I have a tendency to miss things as of late. But we are here tonight, so I look forward to this. It should be a good race, an exciting race. I look forward to this track. This is a fun track to be on, and it's going to be a good run.
Yeah, I'm really excited because we're getting close to the chase beginning. I mean, we're only 6 races away, I think. So, yeah, I think you're going to see some guys out there that are going to be pretty desperate to put together some good finishes over the next 6 races so they can work their way in. And then you've got the guys right on the bubble now, 13th through 16th. I mean, doing everything they can to hold guys back, which is completely understandable.
Yeah, and you're looking at a guy like Josh Hanner. Currently, he's sitting 5th and through qualifying. I definitely expect him to move up, but he's fighting to get into this chase. Greg Wellen, another guy, came in a little bit late, fighting, and these are some fast guys out there. Greg Wellen come out, as I stated, I think it was on the podcast. Actually, I know it was on the podcast, and I told him, like, hey, the only other person we've seen do what when he first started in the Cup Series was Hanner. And Hanner come in, he won, I believe, 5 of 10 races, or even better than that. I think it was like 5 of 7. And Greg Wellen come out first race, won it.
Well, how about we run through the grid real quick? We've got qualifying completed here. We're about to get racing. So starting first with the pole, Greg Wellen. In second, we've got Steve Gottschalk. Third, Daniel Shirley. Fourth, William Klingbeil. Fifth, as mentioned earlier, Josh Hanner. Sixth, Joe Dunsmore. Seventh, Tony Pandon. 8th, Mike Burgess. 9th, Brandon Bernhardt. And in 10th, Andrew Burgess.
In 11th, we got Josh Laston. 12th, Kevin Haas. In 13th, Ross Gage. 14th, Tim St. Jean. 15th, Nick Adams. In 16th, Justin Anderson. 17th, Kevin Pearson. And in 18th, Ed Springer. In 19th, we have Sean Carmody. 20th, Blake Gordon. 21st, Brian McPherron. 22nd, Jason Swan. 23rd, Peter Norquay. And then rounding out your 24th spot, John Gordon.
Yeah, really interesting. I'm seeing Blake Gordon didn't qualify there, and Sean Carmody qualifying at the rear, which is not a spot we typically see him in. But I think we're gonna have a really interesting race here. Going back to what I was saying earlier, this is going to be your classic battle between. Do you want to try to conserve? If you conserve too much, if you have a bunch of short runs, it's going to hurt you. But if you aren't conserving and you have long runs, you're going to get hurt by that. So I think we're going to see a lot of different strategies play out, and when people pit is going to play into that, how well they pit. And then, of course, like I said, Blake Gordon, starting in the rear, which is a spot we're not familiar seeing him in, and we're going to see, I would expect him to go through the field pretty quickly.
Yeah, Blake's all but locked into the championship run here, so he's probably out there having a little bit of fun. Could be a little bit of gamesmanship too. I mean, he's got guys that are fighting for spots in the chase, like I stated earlier. You've got Josh Hanner and Greg Wellen. These guys, maybe he sat back there thinking these guys would not qualify, so that way they can get that extra point for moving up, most spots in the field, and he thought he might try to steal that one away from him.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what's happening here. We're seeing William Klingbeil drop to the rear. He qualified near the front, but currently on the apron, dropping back. So that's going to move one of those lines up. So not quite sure what happened there. But the lights
are side by side. Here we go, man. We're going to get some 133 laps here at Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping these guys get a good, clean race, because I think strategy is the most fun when you have races that stay green flag. When you have a lot of cautions, people's hands are kind of forced at a track like this. And the pace car is off. And we're going to go green flag racing, and they are off. Greg Wellen takes the lead here. Had a pretty big gap even before the green flag came out.
Yeah, he gets a good jump as they come down into turn 1. As you see there, everybody's still side by side. Nobody really jumping down that low line. As they come through the corner there, Greg Wellen able to get, clear. And as there's a caution going to come out already, as we see the 80, and I believe that was the 6 getting to, yes, Tim St. Jean and Ross Gage getting together.
Yeah, that didn't show the replay graphic. I'm not sure why, but yeah, and it showed really late. Yeah, so let's. I have no idea what's happening right now. Let's try to manually rewind. Is it showing that doing that to YouTube? I have no idea why it is doing that.
Okay, so for some reason, it's my computer talking to yours.
Oh no, I don't think so. Because I'm running on a yeah. We'll worry about that later. Huh. Well,
I'm just telling you that I'm engaging that screen right now.
Okay. Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna fix that real quick. Sorry about that, folks.
I was trying to watch it on my screen, and you kept saying that. I was like, all right, I bet it's me because every time I double click it, it's giving that.
Let's try that again. Take a look at this and see what happens here. That is not you, because well, I'll be honest. I don't have a clue what's going on right now.
It's definitely me. Watch. You watch? I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna restart my software here real fast. Sorry about that, folks. That does not make a whole lot of sense.
That's really funny. All right, so don't click on my stuff. Got it.
Well, no, I changed the room name on mine, so it should be in different rooms now, which should make it work. We'll find out. It's exciting.
Yeah, and just to go through that wreck right there is I'm following Tim St. Jean there. He gets loose, it appears, coming out of turn 2. That brings him down right in the front of Ross Gage and causing them both to go down the inside and spin there.
Yep, and I did you just do that?
Yep, I went back live.
I don't know how that's happening right now because we're in different rooms.
All right, I will not touch my software anymore except for cameras.
Yeah, I'm genuinely stumped on this because that's supposed to only happen. Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. I'm stumped because I know how that's supposed to work, and it's not supposed to work like that.
For anybody that doesn't know this out there, our actual tech guy, our software developer, I guess you could call R&D, is Carl. He's the one that puts all this together. So if anybody would know what was going on with that and how to fix it, it would be him. So for the fact that he's stumped is entertaining. For me, I'm sure it's frustrating for him.
Yeah, can you try it one more time?
Yeah.
I got nothing. That doesn't make any sense. Because it's not actually changing the cameras or anything. It's just showing the overlay when you do it. So.
Just the video. That's it.
All right. Well, we'll just have to deal with that. So try not to use that.
Yeah, I'm done.
Good times. You know, I actually have one more idea. I'm going to take a look at real fast. And aha! I see what it is. I know exactly what it is, and it is about to be fixed.
Again, software developer, and the pace car is off. We're going back green flag racing. Greg Welling gets a fantastic jump on the field there as he leads him across the stripe. That's going to allow the 94 to come down and get behind him. But from there, you have Dan Shirley and Josh Hanner side by side going into turn 1 with Joe Dinsmore following closely there in the 5th spot.
Yeah, you know, and before the caution came out there, you were talking about, like, you know, whether I jump to the bottom or not. What I've heard, the high line here is preferred. I know that, you know, at least in the TNT series, at the very least, the midline was preferred, and so is the high line. But you know, we're seeing right now a lot of guys that they are dropping to the bottom. You could just be taking advantage of fresh tires right now.
Well, and right now, yeah, I mean, they're dropping down. Hanner was able to get around the 49 of Dan Shirley. He come down, but now they're starting to creep up there about a midline as they don't really want to open that door there at that bottom line for the other cars. Yeah,
you know, you're going to do your best to drive as fast as you can, but also be defensive here, right? So it's kind of a constant, like, little chess game. Hey, I'm gonna go back here. Well, actually, I was about to show Kevin Haas and Nick Adams, but Nick got around him. But yeah, we got some racing back here, a little bit packed back here.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, you see two side by side. I believe that was right there. Josh Laston that got a little squirrely. Oh no, that was a 77. That would be Andrew Burgess.
Oh, and I'm trying to see what else we got. We got Nick Adams. Earlier trying to make a move. He's making some moves right now, going through the field. Currently trying to get around the 77 there of Andrew Burgess, but Andrew's going to have a better run there. But man, these guys are kind of all over the place right now, aren't they?
Yeah, and right now, Joe Dinsmore has dropped 2 spots. He was running 5th. He has now been passed by Tony Pannon and Mike Burgess. That drops him 2 spots. Right now, Josh Hanner running 3rd, up 2 spots. Dan Shirley down 1 spot in 4th. As Steve Gottschalk now looking on the inside of Greg Wellen as they come out of turn 2. And Greg Wellen will get the run there, and he'll retain that spot.
Oh, yeah, and we've talked before about how, you mentioned Joe Dinsmore dropping some spots. We've talked before how he is, kind of, he's focused on long runs a lot of times, tire conservation. That could be what's happening here, a little bit. He might be trying to conserve those tires and regain those positions later.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is something that is an MO for him. Generally, run consistent at the beginning. He'll run consistent through the entire run. These guys, you'll see them, in spurts of being fast, and then they kind of drop off. As Nick Adams gets sideways, he's able to regain it as he slides there, coming out of turn 2. And the fight here is still heating up as the 94, Greg Wellen has the 91 all over the back of him as they're coming across the strike.
Yeah, I'm really glad I had the camera there on Nick when he decided to nearly spin it there, so I'm sure he's going to love that.
Sir spins a lot. Excuse me. The battle heating it up right there for 5th spot. Tony Pandan now, he's putting on pressure on Dan Shirley as he's trying to move up.
Yeah, these guys, honestly, we've seen for so long, these guys like up in front kind of break away, but we've got a solid pack up here running together, and it's been really fun to watch. But one of the reasons we've seen guys, person break away is Blake Gordon usually. He wasn't up there, but he is up 10 spots currently.
Yeah, and we knew he was going to be fast as he gradually gained spots, working his way around up there. As he continues to fight forward. His next gentleman he's going to have to pass it. There's the 18 of Josh Laston.
Yeah, well,
Josh having a good run. He's up 2 spots now, up into 9th.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, this is Josh's Cup debut. We had some TNT guys move up, and Josh is normally my co-host here, but Larry graciously offered to let Josh and I run in some of the Cup races, and so thanks for that, Larry, and we've been taking advantage of it. I ran weeks ago, and Josh is out here tonight.
And as we take a look right here, Josh Hanner now, he's putting a fight on to the 91 of Steve Gottschalk. He's trying to take over that 2nd spot. He's fighting to make this chase coming up. So every start will count for him as he takes over 2nd. Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to take a miracle for him to get into the chase, but it's going to be close. I mean, he's going to have to fight for it just because of the fact he started in the season so late, didn't have the benefit of provisionals, so, had some 0-point weeks. So I think something like, 10 0-point weeks. So he said that, his hands stacked against him, so it's going to be tough, but I know he's trying really hard. Him and I were teammates, so you are as well. We've been talking about it. He definitely wants to make it in.
And he's fighting for Greg Wellen. Opens up a little bit of a gap here. Gap now just under a second back to Josh Hanner. As Josh Hanner probably won't push too hard as we're still early on in this race.
Well, and
currently lap 16 of 133.
Well, and we saw this happen a few weeks ago where Greg Wellen had a huge lead and then started falling back. And I think it's just he burned through his tires a little bit, and he ended up winning that race. And I talked to him afterwards. He said he kind of learned, how to manage his tires better. So I'm really going to be curious to see if he is, going to run into a similar situation where he's burning through his tires too fast, or he's just got a better pace in the field right now.
We have a fight here right now. Is the 49 Dan Shirley? He's looking at the inside of the 82 of Mike Burgess, and all over the back of those guys. Man, that's the 48 of Blake Gordon.
Yeah, we knew Blake was going to start moving eventually, and here we are. Blake's got a couple of bumpers right in front of him, but he's going to make a move here, and toying with taking it 3 wide, it looks like, which I'm not sure would be a wise idea at this track, but probably wiser to do it now than next year when Atlanta goes a little more narrow.
Well, and Dan Shirley's able to clear. That's going to give Blake Gordon that low line. He's going to come up underneath Mike Burgess, and that's going to allow him to slide up as Joe Densmore tried to follow him there, but unable to make the same move. And creeping into the picture, that's the number 70 of Brandon Bernhardt.
I talk about Brandon Bernhardt a lot because, and then look, we got Josh Laston there as well. But Brandon,
I'm back. We ain't talking about him.
Just
kidding.
Just
kidding, Josh.
Well, I can tell you based on the TNT race that Josh can't manage tires very well. That's a joke. But I hope he watches this. But Brandon, you ran really well over our charity race last night. I love watching Brandon race. Yeah, I love watching Brandon race. He's a great driver. I said it a few weeks ago. I think he is the most underrated driver in the Cup Series. He just consistently finishes well, but he's not flashy. He's not going up there and winning a lot of races, not leading a lot of laps. He's just really consistent. He reminds me a lot of what Tim St. Jean did in the TNT Series last season.
Yeah, and as they say, consistency is key, right? It's going to win you the championship. As right now, Blake Gordon, he's all over the back of the 49. Dan Shirley continues to make a climb here. Now, secretly, who we're not talking about, we know Blake's up 13 spots. Who's up 11 spots? Up to 5th is Justin Anderson. Yeah,
Justin did qualify, but he started pretty far back. He only ran 1 lap, so I actually am curious if it's something like what you said early in the broadcast, like maybe he thought about the bonus points and decided to say, hold up, I'm not going to run another lap. I'm not sure, but maybe didn't see Blake qualifying, something like that. But if he gets in the top 3 or top 2 or so, we'll have to ask him post-race.
Yeah, definitely be interesting to see. Steve Gottschalk, he's staying on the bumper there, the 47 of Josh Hanner. It'd be interesting to see if he can make a move there. As Josh Hanner, they've closed the gap just a little bit there on Greg Welland. The gap is just up underneath half a second.
Yeah, what I really love about these kind of tire management tracks is you manage tires. It's not always just the tire wear, right? It's also the tire temperature. So, Hanner may have burned up his tires a little bit earlier, and now he's trying to let them cool a little bit. He's driving a little bit more careful. And also he has the draft now of Greg Welland. So that means he can go a little bit easier in the corners and regain it during the straightaway. So he could be trying to manage his tires a little bit. And Steve Gottschalk's just sitting there like, oh no, you're not going to manage your tires. I'm going to try to get around you.
Yeah, and as we look a little bit further back, taking a look as Josh Laston, he's on a fight right here. He's trying to pass Mike Burgess for the 10th spot. He's on that low line, but as you stated earlier, that higher line is just getting a better run for the most part down the front stretch. So unless you get a good enough run there on the bottom side, which Josh managed to, was able to clear him, it's kind of hard to really make that pass stick on that low line.
Yeah, 3 and 4, at least, I can speak to more experience with the ARCA cars. 3 and 4, you can, kind of start high and kind of drop low and get that huge run. And it won't hurt you quite as bad because of the fact that, the front stretch kind of bows out. But 1 and 2 is where you've got to, 1 and 2 has to be a perfect corner, right? You have to be, you can't make any mistakes there.
And I have to tell you right now, the top 4 right now are within half a second of each other. As Josh Hanner, Steve Gottschalk, and Tony Pannon are all catching Greg Welland. Right now, the gap back to Hanner, 1.6 seconds. Then it's just about a 0.4 seconds to Steve Gottschalk, as Tony Pan now falls back just a little bit more at about a 0.6.
Hey, let's talk about Tony Pandon. We don't talk about him a lot, but you know, a really good run for him tonight. Love seeing it.
Yeah, we had him on the 24 Hours of Daytona race team, and great driver, great guy. And when he does race, he runs very well.
Yeah, but look, just behind them, not far, Justin Anderson, Blake Gordon. They're moving through the field and trying to get up to the front.
But how much of tires are being used to fight this hard up early? Now, mind you, these guys are going to come into the pit, so it may not matter right now. Burning your tires up right now may not really matter if they're not losing any time.
Yeah, you know, I talked about, you know, Joe Dinsmore possibly saving tires, that sort of thing. He's, I believe, currently the fastest on the track. So, you know, that tire strategy may have paid off for him. But on the other hand, now you've let all those guys pass you. You've got to get around them now, which is not, you know, it's easier said than done.
Yeah, and you are correct with a 32.92. He ran the fastest lap last lap, but as you said, it's one thing to catch somebody, it's another thing to get around them, and the fresh tires will definitely help. But it'll be interesting to see, as right there, he runs a 33.11, as opposed to your leader, Steve Gottschalk, who ran a 33.04.
Yeah, and you know, and as we say that, we're talking about tires and whatnot, you get Timothy St. Jean on pit road. We've seen him do this before, where he'll get off cycle with everyone else, and you know, in the TNT race, he stayed out longer than anyone at Atlanta. But here he is now coming in. Oh, actually, he looks like he may have disconnected there. So we've lost Tim St. Jean there.
Yeah, it looks like he just called it a night, and he is out as your leader continues to be Greg Wellen with Josh Hanner in second, Steve Gottschalk in third, and Tony Pandon fourth. Blake Gordon now up to fifth position.
Hey, while we got you know, a little bit of a break here, why don't we hear from one of our sponsors, Guitar Addict?
For 20 years, the Guitar Addict has been your home for used and vintage guitars in the Daytona Beach area and at GuitarAddict.com. The Guitar Addict is your home for used and vintage guitars. Whether you're looking for that collector's piece or that beginner piece, they've got you covered. With names like Fender, Gibson, Gretsch, Ibanez, Martin, Taylor, and much, much more, the Guitar Addict has all the guitars you need. And bass players, they haven't forgot about you. They've got all the top names. Amplifiers from Friedman, Victoria, Fender, Boss, and many, many more. They also have the largest selection of used pedals anywhere in the Southeast. The Guitar Addict, located at 1672.5 Ridgewood Avenue, just north of Flomish in Holly Hill, Florida. Also, check us out online at GuitarAddict.com.
All right, we're back here. I didn't give my co-host a warning, which is bad form. Sorry about that.
It happens.
So, you know, talking about people on pit road, thought we had someone on pit road. Mike Burge is coming into the pits. So he had a little bit of damage there. But again, this is one of those things like, you know, going off cycle might work out really well for you. You might be able to go out there and gain some time. You know, especially if it says green flag. Now, if a caution comes out, he's in trouble. But I'm always a fan. If you don't have speed, like, go off cycle, try something different.
Try something different, absolutely. May work out for you. As right now, these guys are sitting at lap 33 of 133 laps. Your leader continues to be Greg Well with Josh Hanner just behind him. Tony Pandon now has passed Steve Gottschalk, and he is up to third.
You know, and I was talking to the closed circuit guys, and Nick Adams suggested that he was thinking 30 to 35 laps for tires before you need to pit. You know, we've got a couple of laps here, and if that doesn't happen, I'm just going to stop listening to Nick because he tells me wrong information all the time.
And speaking of Justin Anderson, it looks like Justin Anderson may have just dropped the pit.
Oh, you know, that we were waiting for it. And it looks like Dan Shirley did as well.
Wow.
So, look, I think it's a great move. I think it's awesome. So, Nick, you may have been right, because I think you're going to see other people start pitting here very soon now. I have a hard time imagining they wouldn't. Oh, let's try pit lane 2. I don't really like the pit lane entrance cameras. I wish they had a better angle here.
One
But
facing out.
yep, one facing out. Yep. So Ed Springer coming on, Kevin Haas coming on. So we got some guys pitting. And look, I saw this happen in the TNT race. I almost lost track of Josh Laston. He pitted a lap, just a single lap before I did, and I had a worse pit stop. But I mean, it was a 2-second differential just by pitting a lap earlier.
And Tim just said 38 laps is what he got for a fuel run. So these guys right now, they should be starting to pit. We're going to probably see more guys.
All right, well, I can at least still say that Nick was possibly wrong because he said 50-ish for fuel. So I would say that was pretty far off. I still get to harass Nick.
That's not pretty far off, my friend. That's just way far off. Somebody should not do math in public.
It should possibly be me since I screwed up the math last night for the charity race.
Speaking of that, anybody that didn't get to catch it, what a fun race it was. We were able to raise over $1,000 for Zoe's Place. If you don't know anything about it, Google it. It is a children's shelter. Fantastic cause. We were able to raise $1,000, and Blake Gordon took the win last night in the elimination style race.
Yeah, you know, I wish I had the power now that I did last night, because I'd throw a caution right now and just mess with them.
That's always fun, right?
Or I might just eliminate somebody. Just it wouldn't even be last place. I would just just pick someone. Boom, you're gone.
And right now we're lap 38. We're watching these guys go around. Your leader still Greg Welland, but the top three really tightening up.
Yep, and we've got Steve Gottschalk here pitting. So one of our top 5 pitting. Sean Carmody also pitting. He's running a little bit further back in the field, but he was having a solid run. I think you're about to see a whole bunch of guys pit. You know, honestly, if I were Josh Hanner here, I'd go back and forth. Like, you know, I feel like he knows at this point he's faster than Greg Welland. So, you know, if you pit early, you potentially, get caught, a lap down. If caution comes out, he's making a pass here. So, maybe stay out now. Don't listen to me.
Well, even if he makes the pass, right now he's trying to at least probably get one lap. He wants that bonus point for leading a lap, but you see he kind of falls off pace there. I look at him dropping the pitch right here.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But no, it doesn't.
No, stayed out.
Caution's out. Caution is out. Oh, man, let's try to see if we can find what happened here. It says Steve Gottschalk crash. He just pitted.
And, yeah, coming out of the pits there.
Oh, no!
Oh.
I have to be honest. This is one of the hardest pit roads to exit that I've ever experienced. So that is really bad for a lot of guys who already pitted.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to point out something there. Steve, man, I'm sorry that happened to you. At this point, I think Nerf might drop you as a driver, man. I mean, normally he always says Nerf drops him on road courses. After that, they might look at Cup Series or after the road or oval courses. These guys are 3 wide coming into the pits right now.
Yeah, that's I hope that they're all ready to go into their pit stalls. 29 hopefully does not have to go in earlier than Josh Hanner here. Oh yeah, he does. Hanner missed the stall.
Oh, and the gamesmanship to that is as long as you meet pit road speed coming into the pits under caution, you're not over the caution pace speed, you're fine, right? So what that'll do is like that, just hope that other guy makes a mistake because that could be a position coming out.
This was an awful pit stop.
Comes screaming out there.
Hanner,
though, has a terrible pit.
A complete disaster right there for Josh Hanner. That is the worst thing that could have happened to him. Tough break there. Lost a whole. I mean, he was in second right when they came in. So that's a loss of 6 spots right there.
Yeah, and look who come out in second there, the 48 of Blake Gordon.
Well, I mean, that's no surprise there. Blake Gordon is so good at pit stops. But look at Joe Dinsmore as well. I mean, Joe, I'm not going to say anything derogatory, but had a rough night on pit road last night. he nicked the pit road entry cone, and but good pit stop there, and it's got him in third. But it comes down to
he's gonna kill you for not having his paint up.
Honestly, I don't understand that because Trading Paints is running now. It refreshed all the paint, so I got nothing for that.
Incredible. Hey, we're under caution here right now. Atlanta Motor Speedway. Your leader continues to be Greg Welland, who's led every lap so far here tonight.
Yeah, Greg Welland's been incredible. I mean, we saw at the end of the run there that Josh Hanner had a little more speed than him, but look, I mean, he made it. He made it to where he needed to get to. Caution came out, kind of got saved there a little bit. I mean, he's doing what he's got to do. So if we, I'm going to start doing a little bit of math here. It's a bad idea. What lap are we on now? Do you happen to know?
I can't see because you have it under as caution instead of true laps.
Oh, is there a way to change that?
Yeah, actually, just for you, that if you go down into, I gotta find it because I have to do it on mine when I go when I'm controlling it. Not a box.
How about right there? Boom.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's good to know. That's a default change I'll need to make for us. We made it about 40 laps there.
Oh yeah, under the tinker. Sorry.
So, yeah, we're gonna have at least one more pit stop. Maybe two. We'll have to see how the cautions play out.
Yeah, definitely have to see how the cautions play out, see how this run goes, and it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out here. As we see Josh Hanner already have issues. That last pit stop seems to be a CCR staple here as of late, as drops a couple spots there, but Greg Welland, Blake Gordon uses the pit stop to really bolster his spot, as he's now up 18 spots.
Hey, you can't spell crappy pit stop without CCR. you actually can, because there's only one C in crappy pit stop.
Not if you put crappy.
Oh, hey, a little stutter, okay. Roll with that.
Hey, there you go. Pace car is off. We're back to racing. Greg Welland, monstrous jump there as he's able to easily clear Blake Gordon. That's going to allow the 95 of Joe Dinsmore to look already on the inside of Blake Gordon, but Blake runs it super hard going into turn one, able to clear him, gets down that low line.
Yeah, honestly, these restarts, a lot of times, at least I run into this a lot. Someone like Blake Gordon probably absolutely does not, but I tend to, in that first corner, be way too conservative. I've been running around that corner at full speed. I come out on a restart, and I let off the gas a little bit. More than likely, on that restart in 1 and 2, they should be going wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. Hanner already able to make up one spot. He gets around the 15 of Brian McFerrin. Now he looks under the 40 or the 7. Underneath the 70 as they come out of turn 2, head down the backstretch. He's going to clear him. That's going to put Josh Hanner up to 5th now.
Yeah, Hanner's got his eyes on the lead group here. You can try to chase him down, but he's got to be careful here because you don't want to burn through your stuff trying to catch him either.
Burn it all down, Hanner. Leave nothing out there. Let's get a W.
So, honestly, I mean, this has been a much more tame restart than what we had with our first 2 starts. Everybody just kind of, I guess, realizing that you need to be a little patient, try to conserve your tires. I would imagine there were a lot of guys who burned through their tires pretty quickly last run.
Well, you would think that. All right, you would think that, but not this last lap that just happened. The lap before that. Your top 4 set their best lap of the race, and Josh Hanner just set his best lap at the race. All these guys right now, we had a 3107, 3104, 3108, 3105, and then 3104 by Hanner.
Yeah, Hanner is trying to move right now. He is trying to get back up there. Might be angry driving a little bit. and there's different kinds of angry driving. Because honestly, wow, he's still trying to get in that position. But there's different kinds of angry driving, and I get the most angry when I'm angry over a mistake myself. And usually I tend to do something really stupid when that happens.
And right now, you've got a pass now going. Jason Swan is going to lose a spot here to the 41 of Kevin Pearson as they come to that corner there. And now fighting up is looking like the 18 of Josh Laston's trying to move through. Just behind them, we got Justin Anderson. He's in a fight with the 88 of Pete Norquay.
Yeah, and Justin Anderson's one of those guys that really got hurt by that pit cycle, pitting earlier and then having caution come out. But we saw Justin move through the field pretty easily earlier. He's still up 2 spots from where he started the race, so I think he'll probably get back up to the field relatively quickly.
And we got a fight right now. Josh Hanner, the 47, he is all over the 95 of Joe Dinsmore there as they came out of turn 4. That run, though, he wasn't able to get that run. Joe Dinsmore was able to clear him, and Tony Pandon, because he was able to have a little bit higher line, got a fantastic run. But once Hanner was able to squeeze up just a little bit, he was able to scrub that run off of him as he looks now again on the inside here, coming through turn 4. He's got a nose on him. Can he clear him and then slide up between he and Blake Gordon?
Oh, not quite.
And just unable to do that.
Yeah, I think I'm actually wondering if Joe's pushing a little bit harder now than he did last run. May have realized that while he did conserve tires better than anyone else on the track, it was going to be too much to make up, by the end of the run. So it does seem to me that Joe's pushing a little bit harder now than he was in that first run.
Well, you definitely see Hanner's pushing extremely hard because he's the only one dropping it to that white line and trying to get these runs through these corners. But the only way you can make that pass stick is if you can clear the guy in front of you. If you can clear the guy in front of you, you could slide up and scrub their speed or at least force them to go to that low line going into that next corner. Yeah,
this is it's a tough pass to make right now. I mean, he's going to kind of duck back in line there. It's going to be really tough, and Joe's not going to let him have it. I mean, Joe's fighting. Joe wants to get up to that second spot in front of Blake Gordon.
Well, and this ain't doing anything for either one of them. All this is going to do is this is going to burn Hanner's tires. This is going to smoke him, and Joe's not going to, fighting with the 47's not going to help him catch Blake anymore, but Greg Welland, this is helping him out. Greg Welland right now opens up a nice little gap there on Blake Gordon.
Honestly, this may not be that bad for Joe Dinsmore, depending on how he's managing his tires. I mean, it's a very real possibility that just running that high line, you could run pretty close to the line you would run anyways, and conserve your tires and hold off Joshua Hanner. So I'm going to drop back here. We've got the field's kind of spread out a little bit, but let's drop back further in the field. Let's take a look at this pack right here. Sean Carmody, Dan Shirley, we got William Klingbeil. Who else? We got the Andrew Burgess. I mean, it's a large group of them back here. And we got Sean Carmody right here trying to get to the inside of Dan Shirley, or he's on his inside, trying to make that pass stick right there.
Gets loose. He's down to the bottom. That's going to allow Tony Pandon to get around him.
Who was that got loose? I'm sorry, you broke up there. Was that
Hanner?
Oh, man.
Hanner
Let's
down that low line. Taking a look at it here.
Let's see if we can go back and take a look at it. I'm going to see if I can. Because it looks like Hanner got around Joe Dinsmore briefly. Let's see if we can see it here. Oh! That looked like Joe came down into Hanner. I'm going to take one more look at that.
I mean, I agree with you on that. It definitely looked like the 95 comes down on the 47 and tags him a little bit there, and that put Hanner down low. He's able to regain it. He's up right now, still sitting in 5th spot, but he'll have to work his way back up. As Tony Pandon right now on alongside the 95 of Joe Dinsmore.
Yeah, that definitely hurt Hanner there. He's going to have to. He lost a position there, and it was close to getting around Joe Dinsmore. So he's going to fight to regain that. But does he have anything left after really fighting that hard already? He already burned through his tires. So let's take a brief break here. We'll hear from the AOLL everything about the league.
The AOLL Racing League began racing in the early 90s with Papyrus's NASCAR Racing and has grown over the decades, now racing on the iRacing platform. The AOLL has 3 divisions: the TNT Series Developmental Division for our beginners and those getting back into racing, the Cup Series for our veterans and Class A licensed drivers, the Sportsman Division racing the Gander outdoor trucks with drivers from the TNT and Cup Series. You can catch all of the AOLL action here on Ghostfire Media.
Oh man, Tony Pandon there while we were on break, and Joe Dinsmore get back into the side of each other there, and that sends Tony Pandon down, and that's going to allow Josh Hanner to get around Tony Pandon.
Let's see if we can go back and take another look at that.
That might have been a little bit of net code.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what happened here. Oh yeah, that was weird. So let's take one more look at it from the
That was definitely
view.
net code. That was definitely net code right there. The Tony Pandon was coming up. The 29 was coming up, and he didn't touch Joe's car, but then he shot down. So that was definitely some net code there.
Yep. So things are a lot calmer this time around than what we had last run. But we do have some battles happening. Kevin Pearson here and Brandon Bernhardt battling. This is for the 6th spot. And then right behind them, we've got Tony Pandon, who was just in that incident. We know he's fast. He's going to try to work his way back up front.
Yeah, he's side by side. Kevin Pearson. He's going to easily clear him. Well, I say easily, but the 41 Kevin Pearson really fighting there on that bottom line. He's going to be able to clear Tony Pandon. Does he come up and scrub that speed from him? That'll be the question as they're heading through the corner here. The story here, though, Josh Hanner, he's a little bit off pace. He's lost there to a spot to Brian McFerrin now, dropping him back to 5th position.
Well, like I said earlier, I mean, he probably burned through his tires. I mean, you can't run at that kind of pace and keep up. So you sustain that for a long period. So what he's got to do at this point is do his best to hang on and get ready. We should have pit stops coming up again relatively soon. Take a look here, see what kind of battles we got going on. We got some battles going on back further in the field. We got somehow it's not showing up correctly for me. Or is Steve Gottschalk? No, Steve Gottschalk isn't a lap down. Okay, never mind. So we got a group right here with Steve Gottschalk.
He is.
He is a lap down. It's just not showing a lap down. Okay, now it is. Now it is. It took a second for it to show up. Okay, so Steve Gottschalk's a lap down. So there's some cars there he's battling that are on the lead lap. And actually, this is what's confusing me, is because it's saying that the 40 is not a lap down, but is many positions ahead of Steve Gottschalk. Is this showing that for you as well?
John Carmody is 18th position.
Yeah, that's what's showing for me too. So I don't. Okay, I think it's just maybe my software acting up here. So we'll move on from that and pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah, we got a battle heating up here up front. The 47's got some company in the 70 car. There's Brandon Bernhardt all over the back. Josh Hanner, he's going to look to put him another spot back as Josh Hanner, again, fighting for every point that he can get to try to make this chase this season.
Yeah, Hanner is way off pace right now. I mean, he is putting down, he's in the 33-second territory when a lot of guys, in the top 6 are in 32 seconds. So he's likely going to lose his position, but I think after that it might stabilize a little bit. But you got to talk about Greg Welland. Man, he has been putting on a clinic tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, Greg Welland has really run very well tonight. Currently, he has led every lap. He is just looking extremely strong. Even right now, with this deep into the run, he is still comparable to Blake Gordon here, as he's got a nice gap, about almost 2 seconds there on Blake Gordon.
Yeah, Blake's just a hair faster than Greg Welland right now, but it's not much, and not enough to make up that gap right now either.
Yeah, we got a big old car battle. I believe that is about 5 cars here with Sean Carmody. If you were speaking of earlier, Kevin Haas and Andrew Burgess, the 49, Dan Shirley and Ed Springer, as these guys are all battling it out here. Sean Carmody makes a nice move. He gets around the 77. Ed Springer following suit around the 49 and 77.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I mean, Sean...
And Steve Gottschalk now into the pits.
Oh, well, we've got someone pitting here, so... Well, Steve Gottschalk... It is not showing Steve Gottschalk on the pits for me.
It should show it now if you look at it. He did definitely...
I am currently focused on Steve Gottschalk, and it is saying that I'm live.
Oh, excuse me. Justin Anderson.
I really thought my software was messing up there.
The 70 got around the 47 here. I'm going to just start calling numbers. And for the 15 right now, he's fighting on the inside of the 95, Joe Dinsmore. As he goes through, Brian McFerrin looking to clear coming out of turn 2 as they head down that back stretch.
Yeah, you know, this might be a situation, you know, I said that Joe, you know, kind of had that balancing act of, you know, maybe he conserved tires too much last time because he was fast at the end of the run, last run, but may have been a little bit too aggressive this time because he is falling back just a little bit.
And we're definitely seeing cars like Brian McFerrin, the 70 of Brandon Bernhardt, really coming on strong here, as you see, as Brian McFerrin gets around Joe Dinsmore. Now here comes the 70. He's going to look to get around the 95 of Joe Dinsmore. As Brandon Bernhardt comes down this backstretch, he is making up that time.
Yeah, and, you know, we got some other guys on pit road. We had Dan Shirley on pit road, Kevin Haas. So guys are starting to pit. I got to think, you know, I'm looking here, you know, I got to think our leaders are going to think of pitting in the next, you know, 6-7 laps or so.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see which domino falls here. We're at lap 71 of 133, so this fuel run's been roughly around 30 to 40 laps. I definitely think they're going to want to stretch it out because if they don't, they're definitely going to have to take another pit stop.
Yeah, you know, yeah, more than likely they'd have to take another pit stop if Tim St. Jean's numbers were correct, which, I mean, he was out there. I'm assuming they are. But just looking at it from the perspective of tires, I think Josh Hanner needs to pit as early as he possibly can. He is falling back. He honestly, you know, getting decent finishes is not good enough for him at this point. He's got to get wins. I mean, he needs to win races because with the point system in the Cup Series, you know, second place doesn't make a whole lot more than third. Third place doesn't make a whole lot more than fourth. I mean, it's just 1 point difference, whereas the winner gets a 5-point bonus. Hanner needs to try to get this win if he wants to be, you know, find himself in the chase.
Oh yeah, absolutely, completely agree with that. He's now on the inside of the 95 of Joe Dinsmore. He's going to go to this fight one more time as they come down to do the backstretch. Unable to get that run, but the 41. Kevin Pearson gets a great run, but Hanner able to squeeze up there. It's going to scrub that speed. Yeah,
you know, Hanner might have been, you know, trying to get his tires cool off a little bit because he does look like he's got a little bit more pace right now. He's running in the low 33s, which is not a bad time right now for you know, this late of a run. So Hanner might have just dropped back a little bit, tried to, you know, save tires a little bit since he burned them up so early.
Yeah, and glad you said that low 33. I mean, that's running what Greg Welland's running, your leader with a 33.23, and Hanner ran a 33.25. So Hanner's got some speed here. It's just, it's as we said earlier, it's one thing to catch a guy, it's another thing to pass him. So the NRC is the 77-16 in the pitch right now. It's Ed Springer and Andrew Burgess.
Yeah, so again, this is almost playing out like we saw last time. You know, the same order of guys pitting. I think we're gonna, you know, start seeing a lot more guys pitting really soon. but I have to wonder some of the guys that are pitted. Oh, we got
Tony Pandon. He's sideways at the bottom part of the track. He's able to regain it though, and he'll keep going.
wow, that was a heck of a save right there. Let me see if it actually didn't show an event for that. I was going to try to see if I could get an in-car, but I want to go back up here to Josh Hanner, who is still just stalking Joe Dinsmore. He is right there. Definitely running a lower line than Joe is. See if he can gain a little bit here, but yeah.
So, hey, in that incident, the 41 of Kevin Pearson got into that outside wall, and when he came off the wall, Tony Pandon was coming up out of the corner, and they collided, and that sent Tony down to the bottom part of the track.
I hate seeing that because Tony Pandon's had a great run tonight. He's had some bad luck this season, and it's seeming like he's having some bad luck tonight as well.
I'm gonna tell you what, that was a heck of a save. That in-car is pretty impressive. You saw that thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked he saved it at this point, but we're at lap 77 here. I'm starting to sound like the boy who cried wolf, but somebody has to pit eventually. I mean, I don't think you're going to see all these guys coming at the same time. Someone in this, top 10 or so is going to pit earlier, and I'm just waiting for it to happen at this point because I don't know. I feel like someone's going to try to take that advantage, but again, it comes on the fuel. I mean, if guys are going to try to stretch it on fuel, they need to go a little bit more now.
And the 83 now, he is coming into the pits. So there's another car in the pits. Now, and like you said, it'd be interesting to see who goes for that undercut. Who says, I'm coming in now? Here comes the 73 of Justin Anderson. That is the speed difference right now on fresh tires. Right there. He just blew past the 47, and he will blow past around the 95 because he is on the fresh tires.
Yeah, that's when you're telling your teammate, like, hey man, I'm coming. And, Joe smartly moves up the track there to let his teammate by.
And Justin Anderson, he is showing on the lead lap right now, and
I don't think I don't think that's true. He's not on the lead lap yet. He still has to get by.
No way, that's not possible. But
he's got to get by Brian McFerrin, Blake Gordon, and Greg Welland, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know why my system's showing that, but he's right now running he ran a 31.89 as opposed to everybody's running a 33.
Yeah.
Second lap. So that right there is telling you that is just a monumental difference in speed that you're gaining from these fresh tires. It'll be interesting to see, as we talked about it before, the undercut, or are they trying to squeeze as much fuel out that they can for one more pit stop so they don't have to take another one?
I mean, look, Justin Anderson is clearly, and we finally got some guys in the top 10 that are pitting now. Kevin Pearson and Tony Pandon.
Yeah.
So, and Sean Carmody also in. He was running just outside the top 10, I believe. So, look, that domino has fallen now. That is a huge advantage right there. And if you let them have those fresher tires for a couple of laps, then they can gain. Oh, Blake Gordon.
Blake Gordon's coming in.
That's the right move there.
Josh Hanner's in now.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on Josh Hanner here. See if he has a better pit stop this time, because was it so hot last time? He does have some damage. That's a decent amount of damage there. That could be causing some aero issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there you go. Took the quick repair, went ahead, good to go. Car's good. And here comes your leader now, Brian McFerrin, heading down pit road.
I think I meant Greg Welland. Greg Welland is coming.
Joe Dinsmore, or excuse me, yes, thank you. And Joe Dinsmore comes in. So now Brian McFerrin stays out. Brandon Bernhardt in second with Jason Swan in third, and Josh Laston sitting in fourth.
Look at Josh there. Good quiet run for him tonight in his debut race in the AOLL Cup Series.
He is showing up 7 spots. Now, mind you, it'll be interesting to see as far as pits. Brian McFerrin now coming into the pit lane. Here comes the 70 of Brandon Bernhardt. Josh Laston now also coming down. Jason Swando, he does stay out. And Justin Anderson right now showing in 5th spot. That right now is looks like when it cycles around, he may be your leader.
Yeah, I mean, again, that comes down to that short stop. But what Justin has to hope for here is that this can be another pit stop before he runs out of fuel. Because if our numbers we got from Tim are right, then he's going to run out of fuel before they reach to the end. So he wants it to stay green for like another.
Jason Swan into the pits.
He wants to stay green for another 5 or 6 laps or so. If it goes caution right now, a lot of these guys that just pitted are probably just going to stay out. But let it stay green for 5 or 6 laps, and then when the caution comes out, then everyone's going to have to pit with him. They're all in the same cycle. He's at the front.
Exactly. So this could play out in Justin Anderson's favor. He will pass Jason Swan, who is right now in the pits, and he will take the lead. He is your new leader here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and look at who's running second right now. His teammate Dan Shirley. So this seems to be like a steel horse strategy. Look at Blake Gordon coming in a hurry. Those fresher tires.
Yeah, I was about to say they're running a 32.72, 32.69, as opposed to Blake ran a 31.33 and Greg Wellen ran a 31.02.
Yeah, that we just see it right there on the pit strategy there. 16 lap old tires, versus 1 2-lap old tires. It makes a huge difference.
And you know who benefited from that? Josh Hanner was able to grab some spots. He's right now showing in 6th, but he will be the 3rd car with the fresher tires, and he's on his way.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had the pit stop he needed to have there, right? I mean, it wasn't like his first pit stop, so, yeah, it worked out really well for him, but he's going to be real careful here. We got a battle going on back here. Man, that's a pack right there.
Yeah, 3 wide. And what you're seeing right now is you're still seeing some guys with some fresher tires that, like right now, Hanner probably really wants to go. John Gordon's up underneath him. Hanner's going to have to run a line. He hasn't been running it pretty much all race. As now he's going to have to let John Gordon go around him, and then he comes up underneath the 3 there of Kevin Haas, and he'll get around him.
Yeah, and this is one of those fun things. You a lot of times have guys that stay out, and they're on really old tires. But that's not what happened here. I mean, this is a situation where we stayed green flags. Guys had different pit strategies, which we actually missed this. I was talking about how this is going to work out well for Justin Anderson. He's running in 3rd now. Blake Gordon and Greg Wellen both got by really quickly.
Your battle for the lead. There's your battle for the lead with Greg Wellen. He's side by side with Blake Gordon, and he will get around him coming into turn 3 as they come through turn 3 heading into turn 4.
And I guarantee you, Josh Hanner's sitting back there is like, no, guys, please stay side by side, because you start battling for the lead, and you may have in your head like, I need to conserve tires, I need to conserve fuel, I need to conserve this and that. But get in that situation, you're trying to battle for the lead. You want to lead the race, so all of that kind of goes out of the window unless you have like really strong, mental focus and that seems to be what Blake's doing. I mean, Blake, I think, could have battled a little bit harder there, but just dropped back and said, you know what, you can have this, and I'm going to hang back for a little bit. And this is a strategy that can work. It's something I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. If you can stay behind someone and still stay within their draft, what it enables you to do is kind of let up a little bit more in the corners than they are, and then, gain it back in the straightaway. And that could, over a long period of time, could give you a tire advantage.
Yeah, and right there, that was Josh Hanner. He's able to get around the 49 of Dan Shirley. So he set his sights. He's got Justin Anderson that he's going to have to get around. And right now, he's just falling behind the 19 of John Gordon. That's 1 lap down at least. So this could play out pretty well for Hanner. I mean, John's obviously got some fresh tires. He's able to run pace right now. He could be conserving fuel and tires by just running off the draft, as you were talking about.
Yeah, having a guy in front of you on fresher tires than you is great. I mean, it helped me get around Josh Laston in the TNT race Thursday night. Is having a guy who was on fast tires or fresh tires. I was able to duck in behind him and take the draft. So, I think that this could work out really well for Hanner. He's got a little bit of a gap there, but gaining on Justin Anderson really quickly here.
Yeah, and there you go. That's that tire difference. If you say full second faster, that last lap than Justin Anderson, so he'll catch him quick, fast, in a hurry. as he'll work his way around. And your top two, though, they're about 7 seconds out, but Greg Welland, he is on a blistering pace as he's starting to open up about half a second gap on Blake Gordon.
Yeah, you see, he makes that pass easily, and Justin Anderson wisely moves up to let him have it. Because, when there's that big of a tire differential, there is no point in trying to fight it. You might be able to hold them off a lap or something, but number one, you're not going to hold them off for many laps. But number two, you're also making an enemy out there if you try to do that.
Well, and it does nothing for nobody, right? I mean, at that point, it's just going to burn up both cars' tires, and nobody really wants that. It's why, Justin Anderson, a gentleman and a scholar, as he always is, just kind of pops up out there and lets the man go by, and he'll save his tires for another race. Hope to see the bleeding stop as Joe Dinsmore now gets around him, and Justin Anderson will have to look to try to hold off his other teammate, Brian McFerrin.
So we see Josh Hanner here exiting, going about midway through the backstretch. Let's see where Blake Gordon is, the next spot. That's pretty big. I mean, they're coming on the front stretch right now, so huge ground to make up for Josh Hanner if he wants to have a chance to win this race. He really needs a caution to come out at this point if he wants a realistic chance. But I mean, look, I'm looking at the gap, and it is narrowing. We'll see.
Well, at this point right now, we're at lap 95 of 133. As you said, even if with this gap narrowing, it's not narrowing enough, right? Especially to the leader. Hanner's last lap of 32.2, and the leader's last lap was a 32.24. So they're not much difference in pace here. So that gap right there at 32.35 for Hanner, 32.37 for Welland. So even though he may be catching Blake just a little bit, because Blake is off just a little bit more than that at 32.58, I don't think he's got the time right now at this. I mean, he's almost a full 5.5 seconds back from Blake Gordon. I definitely think he needs a caution at this point.
Yeah, I think he probably does too, but we do still have 34 laps, which, look, if we're going back, what did Tim St. Jean said fuel run was? He said 38 laps. So look, if 38 laps is the fuel limit and they're not conserving fuel, they're not going to make it. I mean, just looking at...
we completely agree with that.
I mean, looking at where the leaders last pitted was lap 82. I mean, they're not even remotely close. That's only another pit stop at this point, unless poor Tim was out there just like running through his fuel. I don't see how they can make it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this all plays out here. As Josh Hanner now, he's looking on the inside of John Gordon. John Gordon a lap down. So he got that pass. John, did the right thing, moved up, got out of his way, was able to get around him. And he'll set his sights here as he's going to try to catch Blake Gordon, as these guys right now are showing about 5 seconds ahead. Well, Blake 5 seconds ahead as Greg Welland, again, just a clinic today as he continues to open the gap.
Yeah, and I mean, and we've got guys on pit road, a couple of Steel Horse guys, Justin Anderson, Dan Shirley, Kevin Haas also on pit road.
Well, and this is bound to start happening, as we said. I mean, the fuel run's kind of lending to this. So we'll see how these pit strategies play out. Did these guys think they conserved enough fuel, and they're going to be able to make it the rest of the way?
Well, they should. Well, so these guys that are pitting right now are good. I mean, if
I'm talking about the leaders.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about the leaders because they stretched it.
Well, look, if a fuel run is 38 laps, there's no way you can stretch it that long. I mean, you're talking about stretching it an extra, 10, 20, 15 laps or so. So if that fuel measurement was correct, they're not going to make it. They're going to have to do another stop. In which case, this is playing into Justin Anderson's hands. I mean, that's going to be perfect for him. Because he's going to have that advantage on tires now. What Justin Anderson does not want to see right now, though, is a caution.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that. But again, different pit strategies, it's working out in some guys' favors and others not so much.
Yeah, I mean... that's why I love races that stay green flag like this. We had an early caution, but the most part, with the green flag here tonight. And I love seeing strategies play out like this. When caution comes out, people's hands get forced. Like, oh, at a track like Atlanta, you've been out there for let's say 5-10 laps. Caution comes out, you're pitting. But tonight, you've got to think about your strategy. What are you willing to give up in order to try to get the speed advantage with fresh tires? So, and you're having to do all the calculations in your head. Like, caution comes out, you do not care about the calculations. You just pit regardless. Like, there's no reason worrying about fuel. But tonight, they're having to think about it, and I love it.
We're lap 103, up 33, so 30 laps to go. What we haven't talked about here, Josh Hanner, he's getting a little bit of company as Brian McPherson is catching him, and he should catch him, I would say, within about 2 to 3 laps.
Let's talk about Brian McPherson for a minute, because he's had a great run tonight. I mean, again, just kind of a quiet night. Has not
17 spots.
Yeah, just been running really well. I mean, just keeps falling back a little bit and working his way back up. He might be on slightly fresher tires. Yeah, he's on 2-lap fresher tires than Josh Hanner. That makes a difference here.
I'd say it's the paint scheme. I mean, anything that says Chick-fil-A is going to be quick, fast, and in a hurry. And he's showing it here tonight right now. He's running down Josh Hanner. And here you go. He is on the back of him as they come out of turn 2.
Well, I mean, they're relatively quick and fast, but you still have to wait in line for like an hour because the line's going to be going out into the road. At least Chick-fil-A's I have.
If you're missing your pot, what he looks like right now looks like Hanner forgot his Polynesian sauce, and he's making sure he's getting his Polynesian sauce.
It's like, sir, here it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like right now.
But he's got him, and he's looking towards the outside. See if he get that run off that turn 2, and as you see the gap just shrinks as he comes out of turn 2. Now goes to the inside, and he's going to take that inside line going into turn 3.
Yeah, that's again. I mean, at this point, 2 laps shouldn't make that big of a difference. Oh, Hanner's pitting.
Yeah, Josh Hanner pitting. Here we go. Could this be his attempt at undercutting? Could he try to undercut these guys and see about getting these fresher tires? If he knows everybody else has to pit here soon, could he be trying to undercut them, get these fresher tires, get back out there, and make them catch him?
I love seeing this because if if the other guys come out and they pit a little bit later, they'll have fresher tires, but they may not have time to catch him. So I love this, and it looks like he had a solid pit stop here. Man, I think this is the strategy as long as the caution doesn't come out. If the caution comes out, he's in trouble.
Well, and right now, I tell you, nobody else has pitted yet. Great, the entire top 10 has stayed out. Speaking of the top 10, as I was scrolling through the top 10, sitting back there in 10th is Nick Adams, quietly.
Are we going to say something nice about Nick, or are we just going to move on?
No, that was all I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, let's say something nice about his teammate, Josh Laston, who in his debut is running 9th, which 9th is way more impressive than 10th.
I 100% agree with that.
Oh, and Josh is pitting.
Speaking, Josh is he is coming down to the pit lane here. He is the second guy in the top 10 to take a pit stop. We'll see if the 30 here of Nick Adams follows suit, or do they try different strategies and he will stay up.
Yeah, and you guys probably saw Josh Laston's tires smoking there a little bit. Josh is one of the most aggressive guys I've ever met at getting on pit road. Honestly, he treats getting.
Oh, we have somebody take out the cone.
Oh,
was the 82 of Mike Burgess.
Well,
Mike Burgess took out the cone.
He nicked it. So,
hey, the 30, he's now slowing down. You're another car in the top 10 pitting. Greg Lowen stays out. Blake Gordon stays out. Ryan McPherson staying out. Let's see Joe Dinsmore. He's definitely staying out. We've got Kevin Pearson staying out. Brandon Bernhardt. Norquay. Jason Swan there in 8th. And now, as it rotates around, Justin Anderson's in 9th. So he'll definitely stay out.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Anderson, I mean, look, he pitted how many laps before Hanner here? 98 versus 105. So Hannah's going to have the tire advantage over both Daniel Shirley and Justin Anderson, but they were able to gain some positions on that, so good for them. We got Justin Anderson there, Dan Shirley
here
there.
Here comes the 41 of Kevin Pearson now. Kevin Pearson pitting.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things like if you're running up front and you haven't pitted yet, you in a way sort of made your bed. Like you need to try to stay out a little bit longer and hope caution comes out. But they're not in bad shape by any means.
And your leader's pitting. Greg Wellen's pitting right now. Blake Gordon stays out, but Greg Wellen is in pit road. Ryan McPherson stays out. Joe Dinsmore stays out. The 70 now, Brandon Bernhardt. He'll follow suit with Greg Wellen. Pete Nordquist stays out. Jason Swan staying out. As now, these guys are starting to cycle around here. New leader now, Blake Gordon. 22 laps to go.
I'll be honest. I thought for sure that Greg Wellen was going to stay out longer than Blake Gordon, and I have a feeling Blake was probably thinking the same thing because Greg still had decent speed. He was still staying in front of Blake Gordon. So yeah, we're gonna see how this.
There's gonna be a caution.
No.
Caution's gonna come. The 83, the 82 together. As it looked like the 82 was going to slow down to come into the pits, and the 83 just slammed in the back of him.
I am trying to find that. It did not show up on my scoring.
Man.
You said it was the 82 was involved?
Pete Norquay, or 88, excuse me. I can't see the number on the car.
Pete Norquay.
He was coming into turn 3. The 83 just comes flying in there, hits him, tags him, hits him about 3 good times, and brings out the caution.
Oh!
And that will hurt Hanner, Anderson, Shirley. It's going to trap all these guys a lap down. The only one that should get a lap back will probably be Greg Wellen.
That's unfortunate because
that means Blake Gordon, Joe Dinsmore, and Jason Swan are your 4 lock cars right now, currently showing on the lead lap. As McPherson comes in, Dinsmore comes in, Jason Swan coming in. And obviously, we'll see Greg Wellen stay out. He should get the waiver round as the lucky dog candidate.
I mean, I'll be honest. What happened there was stupid. I mean, that shouldn't happen.
There's the waiver round.
I'm not sure if Peter Norquay didn't say that he was going to pit over the radio, or if it was just ignored when he said it. But that shouldn't happen. That's the kind of thing that should not happen. And we had a great race going, and I hate seeing that get broken up by that.
Yeah, and as just stated, Greg Wellen's going to get the waiver round. Bringing that caution out now has trapped everybody besides 5 cars 1 lap down. The entire field. We had 24 cars tonight.
Well, they okay. Actually, they
be at least 1 lap.
They okay. So Greg Wellen's going to get the lucky dog. These other guys should get the waiver round because they're riding right behind the pace car. But that will mean that I don't think will be able to pit in this situation. Nick Adams could probably tell us the entire history of this rule. But I know generally speaking, if you've got any cars a lap down, any cars directly, are a lap down directly behind the pace car, they should get a waiver round here because you don't want the race to restart with a bunch of lap cars in the front.
Unless they tell them to drop back and let the lead cars come through.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, we're going to have one, when we have 1 to green, they're going to get the waiver round. But that, again, means they won't be able to pit, so they're going to be in pretty bad shape in terms of their tires.
It'd be interesting to see here what actually transpires. Incredible. What a turn of event right there. A very unfortunate incident brings out the caution as 18 laps to go here tonight. A lot of green flag racing. There's been a lot of good racing all night long.
Yeah, it's been fantastic racing, and it's been really fun watching. I just got a notification Greg Wellen crashed. Did you get that notification?
Yeah, it probably wasn't nothing, actually, unless somebody ran into him under. It does that every now and then when it just somebody slows down. Well, yeah, he's just slowing down, coming to a stop.
I'm not.
And takes off. I thought he was about to get tagged by the 83 there, but no, he just slowed down.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, you know what? It's probably because of the fact he's the lucky dog. He has to be at the end of the longest line.
End of the lane field, yeah. Didn't think about that.
So these guys are still up behind the pace car here. Trying to get a look at the pace car. Pace car lights are still on, so I believe after this we should have one to go to green, which means these guys get to go around, I think. But like I said, I mean, again, even if they get to go around here, this is not...
and yeah, there you go. They're getting the wave around.
But this is still not a great situation for them, right? Because they're going to have older tires while the leaders just got the pit. So, I look at someone like Josh Hanner. He's got fresher tires than Justin Anderson. He should be able to get around him. But then that's probably it. I mean, I don't see where someone like Hanner will be able to gain any more positions. I think this is a battle right now between the top 5, assuming another caution doesn't come out.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. As they are cruising around, and the pace car will come off this lap. And we'll go back to green flag racing here. 17 laps to go of 133 at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
We're going to see, and Blake goes early. And it looks like he caught Brian McFerrin sleeping there. Huge run for both him and Joe Dinsmore.
I wonder why Greg won't. You know what? Never mind. Losing my mind.
So, like I said, we see now, Justin Anderson, Josh Hanner, they are, in 6th and 7th. Hanner is trying to make a move here on Justin Anderson as expected, but again, we have to look at pit laps. 105 for Hanner, which is much fresher than Justin Anderson, but 114 for our leaders. I mean, that's I don't think he can overcome that. I think he's going to be significantly slower. For Josh Hanner, 6th place might be the best he can possibly get out of this tonight.
Yeah, and we're already seeing it right now. Greg Welland walking away from him. And Greg Welland's going to be, he's been the car to beat tonight, but that caution may have cost him the race, as he's going to have to fight through the field here. He's already looking on the outside of the 81 of Jason Swan to get around him. But then, just in front of him, he's going to have some lap cars. Or no, excuse me, I stand corrected. He's going to have to make up a lot of time if he wants to get around the 48, 95, and 15.
Yeah, I've talked a lot about Hanner tonight, partly because he's my teammate and I can't help it, but also partly because he's trying desperately to get into.
Well, he does have lapper cars that he has to get around.
So Hanner's trying desperately to get into the chase. He's tied for most wins in the Cup Series, and doesn't want to get excluded from the chase. But as you mentioned, I want to talk about Greg Welland. He has dominated this race. That caution may have ruined his night. I mean, he even if he starts moving really well, he's on much older tires as well. I mean, not much older. He pitted at lap 111. The leaders pitted at 114. Some of those were under caution, but still, Blake Gordon was running almost as fast as Greg Welland. I don't see how Greg can get up there to him and then pass him.
Yeah, and like I said, he's got some lap cars to deal with. He's looking right now on the outside of the 82 as he will try to work his way around Mike Burgess. As my Tommy Scoring says that Nick Adams...
Caution!
And he got loose. Oh, and that's the best case scenario. Oh, yeah, and actually it's showing Nick Adams is going to bring that one out.
No, I think Ross Gage actually did.
No, it's Nick Adams. Look where it says Nick Adams went off track.
Oh,
Nick Adams went off track.
Well, it was definitely Ross Gage. What? Okay, so was it Nick that? Let me try to pause that.
Nick Adams went off track.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, I didn't see that because it wasn't highlighting it. What did you do, Nick?
You look like you got loose. Gets down into the grass there. tries to come back up on track, gets squirrely, just can't hold on to it well enough, gets back into the grass.
Oh, and I mean,
and comes up on the track, and then he gets with guys had to do evasive maneuvers to try to get around him. Ross Gage gets tagged by the 29, slams up into the 18. The 18 able to keep it from going into the 70, but and able to save it from tagging the wall. Too bad.
I mean, Nick Adams running through the grass, on the front stretch.
Mullen, the 81, and Josh Hanner, the 41, 73. They're all coming to pit road.
Basically everybody's coming to pit road. Oh my goodness.
Besides Blake Gordon, Joe Dinsmore, and Brian McKee.
Well,
this is going to be huge because now these guys will have the fresh tires, and they're going to be lined up right behind your top 4.
Yeah,
Top 3.
I think that this worked out very poorly for our top 3 right now. They probably expected more people to stay out, and they didn't.
I mean, I think at that point they all had to know that they were going to come in because it's just they were on older tires and they had nothing to lose by coming into the pits.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I don't fault people who pitted at all. I mean, that's brilliant now. I mean, it especially makes it look really brilliant now that you've got so many guys who did come in. I mean, let's take a look here. 6. These will be 7-lap pressure tires with probably 7 laps to go when we go green flag. These leaders are sitting ducks. I mean, there is nothing they're going to be able to do to hold off Greg Well and Josh Hanner. Kevin Pierce and Jason Swan up there. I mean, these are guys.
You see that. You say that. I'm not going to count them top 3 out.
You've heard me on the podcast before and how much I talk very highly of Blake Gordon, and I picked him as a winner very often. If this thing stays green flag to the end, Blake Gordon ain't winning this race. It's just not happening. I don't see how it's possible. I mean, the times are going to be, the lap times are going to be drastically different here. Over 7 laps.
But they didn't have that many laps green flag on their fresh tires.
That's true.
So you think about that. We're seeing a lap difference, but their majority of them are being ran under caution. They only have 1 or 2 laps actually at race speed.
You're 100% right, and I'm still going to be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked. And I wish that our timing scoring software had an option to see, like if I could just see the lap times right before the caution came out. But I just look. I mean, at Atlanta, the tires start losing speed after a couple of laps, and I mean, so I guess the question. I mean, we know that Greg Welland, Hanner, Kevin Pearson are going. They're going to be faster. It's going to be a question of how much faster. I look at Greg Welland. He's going to be starting second row. I think he was already the fastest person in the race.
That's about it. I think Greg Welland, he's a favorite to get around these guys.
Yeah.
I love Hanner, and I think the world of Hanner, but I don't think the tire difference is that big where Hanner's just going to blow by these guys. They're not going to just let him by.
Well, yeah, no.
Get around the 15 because the 15 has been faster on longer runs.
Right.
But he's going to struggle with the 48 and the 95.
Look, I'm not even considering really Hanner a possibility to win this race because I think on equal tires, I think Greg Welland is faster than Josh Hanner tonight. Greg Welland has been incredible tonight. And honestly, since he's made his Cup debut, he's been incredible. So, I don't think that this is Hanner's race, but I really think Greg Welland can winning it. As we see the lights and pace car are off here. We're about to go green, and all of this stuff's going to get answered for us. Blake Gordon needs to have the restart of his life right now if he wants to possibly win this race. That's really the only chance I see at this point of Blake being able to hold these guys with fresh tires off. We see the pace car pull in, and Blake goes pretty early again, but does not have the restart. See from him often. Joe Dinsmore is there right with him. And we see Greg Welland already moving. Going to try to take that 3rd spot once they get up to speed here. We'll see if he can take it.
Yeah, with 7 laps to go right now, Hanner, he's looking everywhere, inside, outside. He wants to try to get around that 15 with these fresh tires. As now the 41 gets into the wall. He's 73. That's going to bring out a caution again.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't know if that was I don't think that was. Oh, whoa! There's a lot of people crashing now. I don't think that was a good thing for Greg Wellen. Go back here and take a look here, see what happened. We see the first wreck happening there, and then just everybody.
Caught the 82. The 19 just tagged.
Well, that was fun.
Let's see if we can beginning of this, and the 41 just come up into the wall, comes down, smacks into the side of Hanner, and then shoots up and gets into the 73, and then that just causes a chain effect.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is the worst possible thing that could have happened to Greg Wellen. Sure, he gained the spot, but he's still going to be restarting on the second row, so it's not really a huge advantage now. And cutting down the number of laps that are remaining. I'm not going to say that was a Blake caution, but maybe it was a Joe caution. We'll see. I mean, we're Joe had a great restart there. I wasn't ready to declare that Blake Gordon was going to win this race. Even if he stayed out ahead of Greg Wellen, because Joe was right there. But I have to think with this caution coming out, it had to favor Blake Gordon more than anybody else, being on older tires out there in the front.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll wait and see what happens here. Hate seeing these cautions here at the end because we had such a fun race going with all the green flag racing. But you had some guys who made mistakes at the end, a little bit of pressure, to try to make some passes, try to make some moves, and they screwed up. So here we are. We'll see what happens here. I'll be honest though, I'm actually legitimately shocked. Again, I know they weren't green for long, but I am shocked that some of the guys at the very back of the field didn't just come in with tires. Like, why not at this point? That's assuming they have tires, though. They may have run through the tires already at this point. So, lights on the pace car are still on. We'll have 1 lap to go at least after this. So let's kick it over and hear one more time from Guitar Addict.
For 20 years, the Guitar Addict has been your home for used and vintage guitars in the Daytona Beach area and at GuitarAddict.com. The Guitar Addict is your home for used and vintage guitars. Whether you're looking for that collector's piece or that beginner piece, they've got you covered. With names like Fender, Gibson, Gretsch, Ibanez, Martin, Taylor, and much, much more, the Guitar Addict has all the guitars you need. And bass players, they haven't forgot about you. They've got all the top names. Amplifiers from Friedman, Victoria, Fender, Boss, and many, many more. They also have the largest selection of used pedals anywhere in the Southeast. The Guitar Addict, located at 1672 and a half Ridgewood Avenue, just north of Flemish in Holly Hill, Florida. Also, check us out online at GuitarAddict.com.
All right, and we are back here. Lights on the pace car should be going off this time. We should be lining up 2 by 2.
Hey, before we go back green flag racing, I want to remind everybody out there, tomorrow night is the kickoff for Fuel Racing here at Ghostfire Media with the All-Star Race, man. Come check it out. It's going to be a blast. You have myself and Adam.
That's not tomorrow.
Put on the
Hey.
we're going to be calling. We're excited to have them.
Hey, that's not tomorrow.
What? Oh, I thought it was.
Nope, that's a week from Monday, I believe. We should double check that.
You're probably right. I get excited about something. There you go. I'll get you the exact date on that.
Well, and I'm
outside of that. Good.
I was just saying I'm working on timing and scoring stuff for them, and if it's tomorrow, you've got me full on panicking now.
My bad. I should really I'm going to start writing notes. I'm gonna need notes from now on. My days are just kind of all blending together.
No, seriously,
Hey,
seriously,
face lights are
you have me
off.
wondering
We're
now.
about to
So,
go back. Let me get that date.
pace car peels off here, and we're gonna have 3 to go. I guess actually 2 to go once we get past the start finish line. And once again, Blake Gordon with a great restart. But we see Greg Wellen here trying to get around Joe Dinsmore. Will he have any time to get up there to Blake Gordon? I feel like the opportunity may have passed. It might be all in Blake Gordon's camp right now.
The All-Star race is on the 19th. Hey, there you go, Greg Wellen. He's getting around the 95 of Joe Dinsmore. Joe tries to do a little cross move, though. He's going to go down to the bottom side and try to get back up underneath him. I don't think he's going to have much there for the 94 Greg Wellen. He's been fast all night. With the final lap, 1 lap to go, Greg Wellen's going to give it everything he got, try to catch the 48 there of Blake Gordon as they come down the backstretch.
Well, and here's where the tire differential is. They finally get up to speed. Tire differential is present here, but oh, wow!
To the side. Look how fast he goes. They touch out. Blake goes up high, and Greg Wellen there on the bottom. He's going to clear him. Greg Wellen. He's
wow! Wow! What a finish! And I'm not sure if that was a congratulatory bump or if Blake is really not happy with that move. I'm not sure which was there, but we're going to find out in a little bit, aren't we? Well, I would say Blake.
He's not happy. We see that smack. That Blake's not happy.
And I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at it one more time. I didn't see where Greg Wellen did anything wrong there. Let's see if we can get there. Yeah. That didn't look too bad to me. What do you think?
I will. All right. All I'm gonna say is this. You got to be able to hold a line. And
I mean, Blake came down though.
He came up. He came down. He could have been squeezing him down. That's a tough one. I mean, he definitely went in there and he threw it in there. So.
Oh yeah, that was an aggressive move. Don't get me wrong. Like that's a desperation move right there.
What a race! I have a feeling we might get some good interviews on this one, partner.
I'm not even sure if I'm looking forward to it or not, but yeah, let's run through the results real quick. How about that? As we kind of still soak all of that in. So go ahead, buddy.
Go ahead. No, after you, Joe.
All right. Well, so our winner there, Greg Wellen, in first. Blake Gordon finishes second. Joe Dinsmore in third. Joshua Hanner in fourth. Jason Swan fifth. In sixth, we have Brandon Bernhardt. Seventh, Brian McFerrin. Eighth, Tony Pandon. Ninth, Sean Carmody. And 10th, Justin Anderson.
And on the 11th, we had Peter Norquay, 12th, Ed Springer, 13th, Dan Shirley, 14th, Steve Gottschalk, 15th, Kevin Haas, and 16th, Josh Laston, 17th, Nick Adams, 18th, John Gordon, and in 19th, Andrew Burgess, 20th, Ross Gage, 21st, Kevin Pearson, 22nd, William Clean Beal, 23rd, Mike Burgess, and in 24th, Tim St. Jean.
All right. Well, how about we pull in our winner here? Pull in Greg Wellen. Hey, Greg, it's Carl and Larry in the booth. You get a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man, that was a freaking wild finish. We saw some long green flag run, near the end, and then a lot of cautions at the end. Kind of walk us through what were you thinking, when those cautions came out with the timing that they did.
Oh, man. When I had pitted with 22 to go and the caution came out, I thought for sure I was done. I didn't think there was anything I could do. And then I was just hoping to get back up to third, but I was too far back. Then we got that yellow with 10 to go, and I was like, I'm getting tires. And then, after how I ran this race, it was going to get under my skin if I didn't win this one. It was going to feel like it was stolen from me, so I had to go out there and get it.
Yeah, man, you ran a phenomenal race. You were dominant all race long. Honestly, at one point, I didn't think you were gonna not lead a lap. Tell us how was that feeling, man? I mean, you were just pulling away from everybody. Did you really think anybody had anything out for you out there?
Oh, certainly. No, the guys behind me did. There was many times where Blake was chasing me down on the long run. You just have to play the dirty air right. I just had to keep him in dirty air when he got close. I had to keep Hanner in dirty air. I mean, if those guys got in front of me, it likely would have ended. Those runs would have looked different. They would have dominated, and I would have run second.
Well, so I've got to ask you. We saw. You said you took tires at lap 10, and I'm up here. I'm saying hey, I think that you're going to win this race. You were starting in fourth. You were on the second row. Had fresher tires. That's still plenty of time. But then that second caution, that last caution came out. Did you think you were going to be able to get up there with just 2 to go?
Yeah, well, when the second caution came out and we had a 2-lap run, I didn't know because in the sim, when your tires cool down, his tires are just as good as mine for about a lap and a half. And so that last half of the last lap, I finally had an advantage, and I just had to do it.
Man, it was an absolute phenomenal race by you, man. Congratulations on that win.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll go ahead and send you back to your team here so you can celebrate with them.
All right.
All right. Well, how about we bring in our second place, Blake Gordon. Hey, Blake. It's Carl and Larry in the booth. Get a copy?
What's up?
Hey, man. Great run tonight. Second place. We saw you running first there at the end. How'd you feel about the race tonight?
It felt good. Didn't qualify. Just didn't want to have that pressure initially because in practice the setup felt a little bit different than it did earlier in the year. Wasn't as free up top. Kind of had more tendency to push, so I didn't qualify, and then somehow found myself driving through the field, and I think I was in fourth or fifth before the first yellow came out, and then everything cycled through, and then I realized Greg had some extra stuff that I didn't have tonight. After one of the pit stops, I think he pit a lap after me. He blew right by me. Just what he could do through the center of the corner was something I could not figure out. So I basically spent the last little bit of the race just knowing rather that I was probably going to finish second. Totally cool with it after starting 20 wherever, and then the yellows came out. Got the kind of typical Blake caution there where he around.
You said it, not us. Well, yeah, no, never mind. Carl did say it in the broadcast.
So I figured, yeah. So I knew that was going to help because I felt like after I had driven up through the field and then where things cycled out, I felt like, okay, I'm probably the second best guy here tonight. So see what happens. So he got stuck back, I think, fifth or sixth with some lap cars in front of him. I think we had 10 or 13 laps to the finish. So didn't need a yellow to come out, but you live and die by the yellows. He said it. He felt like the race would have been stolen from him. I know me, Justin, a couple other guys, we've been there. Yellows have come out and taken ones away from us that we should have had in the bag. Justin at Kansas, me at Darlington. It happens. It's part of racing. And then we had that restart crash, which turned it into a green-white checkered. And, well, we saw the last lap.
Yeah. So
man.
Go ahead, Larry.
You looked incredibly strong out there, but yeah, it was one of them things that just watching what he was doing out there. Did you ever at one point did you just feel like I really may not have anything for him, or was there always just that thought that if I could just get in front of him, I can take this?
No, I knew I had nothing for him until the yellow came out at the end. When he got stuck back in traffic, I'm like, okay, by the time he gets to me, hopefully the tires will equalize. And then when they all pit, and I stayed out with 2 other guys, I'm like, okay, well, this probably was a mistake. And then on the last restart, I wanted to get enough of a gap to him on the first lap because I knew he would be coming with tires on the last lap. I knew he'd chuck it into the bottom of 3 and 4. I was expecting it. I thought maybe on fresh tires he'd be able to hold it on the bottom. But he didn't. That's all right. I did have a discussion with everyone before the year because we did throw it in the rules that any wreck that results in a win would be taken away. And then I made a point to have a conversation with everyone and making sure, okay, what are we including and defining as a wreck? A bump and run, chucking it in, knocking the guy up the wall. And I was told, yes, that is going to fall under that rule as well. So I don't know why I thought it would be any different. That they thought I was a racing incident. Watching the replay right now, I hold my line perfectly clear there. He chucks it in, uses me up. He said so. I mean, I'm cool with it, but rules are rules. If they have them, they got to stick with them. But I felt like it was going to be open to interpretation if I was on the receiving end.
Yeah, I'll be honest. From my perspective, I said it during the broadcast. It seemed like you were trying to keep him pinched down at the bottom, which as the leader, that's your right to do.
That's the line though through the
yeah.
corner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
Without
come off the high side, you run the middle, kind of hit the low point through the center. I mean,
yeah. Look, I don't disagree with you at all there. I mean, even if it weren't the line, I mean, as the leader, you have a right to again, it's the responsibility of the person passing. And he did. I mean, he ran it hard in there. Definitely came up.
I can guarantee you, if I did it to him, I'd be getting the win taken away. I mean, personally, I'm only making the point because it's in the rules. Otherwise, I don't care. Like, that's racing. That's fine. Like, totally cool with it. But the league has rules, and sometimes it's open to interpretation based on who's involved.
Well, no, I mean, Blake, I'm right there with you. I mean, I'm of the opinion that what happened there was not really anything wrong with it. But I'm also of the opinion that there are a lot of other things that have been called that I'm also not a huge fan of. But I mean, look, I mean, you were an admin up until last week. I mean, that it's not always black and white. I'm trying to play both sides here a little bit, and a little bit devil's advocate.
No, I know we're both tiptoeing some lines here.
But, beyond. I'm listening to it. Be on. Don't worry, guys. I'm just sit here.
But no,
not the podcast. I can't really talk. On the podcast, I'll talk, but not now.
Yeah. Personally, I was going to finish second tonight anyway. So I finished where I should have. And he should have been winning the race. So he finished where he should have.
I think the end, what I'll leave this with, in my opinion, just my opinion, is based on previous incidents that have been ruled other ways. I think you would have an argument to say that this should have been ruled a different way. I completely understand where you would come from there.
Yeah. Again, if we didn't add those rules, and if I didn't have discussions with admins before the year started about what we would, how we would rule in this scenario, it'd be whatever. If this happened in an official race, whatever, log off, go home. But I'll just leave it at that. I know the messages are probably gonna come after this, but
well,
man, what's
I mean, look. People are going to be upset after races sometimes. That happens. I mean, again, you go back to the TNT, a few weeks back when Blake Ziti and I had some issues, and, him and I are good now, I think. Sometimes
me and Greg are still cool. Like, I have no issues with him personally. Yeah. I am just curious what the other admins are going to rule because, it's a precedent now. If you chuck it into the corner on the last lap and shove the guy up the racetrack, then I guess that's going to be a legal move. And if I do it, it better still be ruled the same way.
It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, man. And congratulations on that second place. And we'll see what happens next week, huh?
Yeah, man. I don't even know where we are. Where are we next week?
Not a clue.
I was trying to pull it up earlier and then got distracted.
Not a clue.
Let's see here. I'm pulling it up.
I got it right here. Let's have a race. Let's see who's gonna win.
New Hampshire.
Oh, hey, that's a good track for me.
Hey, there you go. We look forward to seeing you next week, man.
All right, you guys have a great night. Thanks for the broadcast. And,
have a good one, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Blake. All right, well, that's gonna do us here. We're all wrapped up here, and we've already gone through the results. what else we got going on with the Ghostfire Media Network
Hey,
this week?
IVRL is racing Tuesday night. Check it out. And Wednesday, Truck Series on Thursdays, TNT. As Friday, podcast will be back. Normal time, normal place. And then back to Cup Series racing on Monday. Or
Sunday. All right.
And on the 19th is when IVRL or
Fuel.
Jesus Christ, Fuel is kicking off with their All-Star race. So the 19th, check it out.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait. All right. Well, on behalf of myself and Larry Patrick and the entire Ghostfire Media crew, thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you real soon.